Hello everybody, Dr. Rick here dropping in on you. Hope everybody's keeping warm. If it's real bad where you're at, hope that you're hunkered down safe. I'm in the H where it is colder than usual, but if you've ever been in places where it's cold, it's definitely not as bad as everybody's making it seem. But the most dangerous thing is it's wet, and there probably going to be some slick spaces, and people down here don't know how to drive on that, so it can be kind of precarious. But people are out moving around. It's definitely not a ghost town. So while I'm moving, I wanted to talk to you about something that is definitely a part of my passion. I've been on this for as long as I can remember, and that is the restoration. It's a conglomerative idea, the restoration of the black family and black male mental health and how they connect. And I'm actually doing a symposium on that on the 27th of this month in collaboration with the Harris County Sheriff's Office, Wellspring Family Clinic and Institute, and of course my company, the Visionetics Institute, as we're going to explore environmental stress and how it pertains to our overall health outcomes, but also how it's linked directly to a perpetuation in poor health outcomes in direct connection to our relationship with law enforcement and the need to deal with that. We're also going to deal with the issues of recidivism and how we can reclaim the 1.5 million men that are missing by way of 1.3 being in prison, the other predominantly mental health issues. And I'm going to explore that. I'm going to talk about ongoing research that we have going on and so much more. But what I want to talk to you about is one specific area that I really would want us to give some attention to. Black men, definitely pay attention to what I'm about to say. Black women, if you have fathers, brothers, husbands, sons, cousins, uncles, encourage them in this area because it's an area where we struggle as men. In my research, I'm always looking at the nuances and novices of any idea or any topic of exploration. So it's not just the main theme or what's coming out of it. It is all the little intricacies and interconnectivities that make up the whole, because that's how you have to study life. It's not in a vacuum. It's happening in all these different variables moving simultaneously. And it takes a great deal of emphasis, time, study, attention to detail, and just a thriving to know to even get close to grasping this. But anyway, so exploring something simple but very impactful is the life expectancy of men and women, especially when it pertains to black men and black women, and why do black women outlive black men? If you ask the average black male, his response is going to be somewhat comic, as we normally tend to do with everything. But the truth of the matter is, there are studies out there that have revealed that one of the primary elements and components that allow women across cultures, with the exception to certain spaces that allow for male bonding on a very high level, to where almost the male bonding and the friendships developed are equal in engagement and nurture as the women. In almost every culture, women outlive the men, and that's because these friendships that women tend to create, they call it the tend and befriend element of component of the female existence, and where women tend to have this desire, literally pushing desire to tend to things, especially people, and also to befriend, whereas in men will have buddies and friends, but the type of relationships that they have still tend to leave them in these lonely vacuums at the most stressful of times, whereas in women have these releases. And also, here's the thing, it's not just that having someone to confide in, having someone to depend upon releases stress. That's a part of it. Lower stress levels are going to automatically create a higher quality of life and longevity. Here's something that really got my attention. The attention to befriending or building relationships releases oxytocin. Oxytocin is a chemical, which is also a neurotransmitter that literally transmit and interprets as well-being. Well, women produce a larger number of this than men, and it's normally during the times where they are tending and befriending. And so the idea of not having someone that you're building these relationships with actually work against you. So with that being said, my focus in 2024, well, my focus starting about 3 years ago was to build more meaningful relationships, and I have worked extremely hard to do that. And it's because I think that's an area that is not natural to me. So I purposefully decided that I was going to go out and I was going to build relationships. But I'm going to be really pushing this. I'm really going to be pushing creating environments where men can build relationships in a space that it will be protected and respected and valued. And I think this is something that we definitely need. We are really suffering, and it's not even acknowledged in most instances, and where it is acknowledged, it's not really truly understood. My goal is to give a level of understanding to it that it does not have at this point. It is to create a level of understanding that allows for proactivity in engaging the problem. You know me, I'm not just about talking about the problem. I want to examine and explore the solution. And in exploring the solution, we can gain a true understanding of what it is we need to do. My brothers, I love you. You are so desperately needed in our communities, and despite the constant, incessant attacks on your character, on your desire to be men, on your capacity to be men, and despite all that, you're necessary, you are needed. Even if you're not completely acknowledged or recognized, without us, none of the things we desire and hope for the future for our progeny is possible. We are the linchpin, and it's important for us to understand that and the gravity of us being whole and healthy. When we don't take care of ourselves mentally and emotionally, it shows up in our physical capacity. That then cycles back to our emotional and mental health, because the more you feel bad physically, the more strain and stress it applies to you. The less capable you become physically, the more mental and emotional stress that is applied, and then it just constantly feeds off each other until you literally kill yourself. We have a lot to grow into its way of understanding and knowledge. I told you this a long time ago, and I've said it incessantly since, that one of the biggest reasons that we struggle as a people is we don't understand how things work. We don't take the time, energy, and effort and the resources to invest in understanding. We take shots in the dark. We come up with anecdotal ideas and hypotheses at best about what's going on, and we never truly really explore the true nature of these enigmatic issues that we face as a community, and it ultimately bears out in the outcome. What we're going to have to do is invest in research. What we're going to have to do is invest in programs. What we're going to have to do is invest in the restoration of the Black family, because the Black family is literally the nexus and the genesis of all that is empowerment. If we don't restore the family, we don't have anything on which to build. And I tell you, there is a strong force of divisiveness that's driving against the Black family. It has been for nearly 60 years now. Nothing has changed. It just looks different, but the outcome is ultimately the same. The wedging between Black men and Black women, the ostracizing of fathers, the ignorance of the impact on our children, and it's ultimately showing up in a antinomianistic environment in which everybody's just looking out for themselves. Everybody, as long as I'm good, I ain't gonna say nothing about what you doing. Don't you say nothing to me about what I'm doing. I got a right to feel the way I want to feel. I want what I want. Everybody's talking about how happy they are or how unhappy they are, and all it is about happiness. We've totally abandoned responsibility. We've totally abandoned accountability. We've totally abandoned this yearning and desire to be the best we can possibly be, not just for ourselves, but for everybody who is in contact with us, whether it's family, whether it's community, whether it's race. We have lost that, and it's showing up in the outcome. And it's not going to stop showing up in the outcome until we reclaim the focus of the family, give it value, make it mean enough that you fight for it, and then we'll start to see the ultimate residual effects of that restoration. Until then, the healing can't take place. And no amount of wishing and praying and all that's going to change what is a universal dynamic, and that is the importance of family to build upon and to grow upon and to expand upon. And if we don't learn how to do this, we're going to suffer mentally, emotionally, psychologically, physically, and spiritually. Look, on that note, look, I'm going to get ready to get out of here. If you're out there, be safe. If you believe in the work we're doing at the Odyssey Project, show some love. Click the like button, click the share button, subscribe, and look in the description box and donate. On that note, look, I'm about to get out of here. You guys have an unbelievable remainder of your day. Take care.